Hey Yazzers, this is Doug Mattis, and this is MK Yaz 5, Week 4, musical Mad Libs. How fun! We had dueling double axles. My wig, I tip my wig off to you gentlemen. A plethora of pivots. And lots of trios, which we love. I love that kind of staging. You all did a good job of entrances and exits and stuff like that when you worked with a bunch of people. Listen, before I get started, I'm calling on all Yaz alumni. The Yaz final for MK Yaz 5 is in DC the end of November. I think it's Thanksgiving weekend. Would you check your schedules? Why don't we all try to be there? Let's amass the most Yaz aficionados, alumni, skaters, as many as possible. It would be really fun. Maybe we can get to do something special all together. So moving into this week, after this week, I think that it's fair to say that MK Yaz 5 is at least 20% Garrett Kling. So I am making a motion that in MK Yaz 6, there be at least one challenge that is all Garrett, all the time. What do you say? I want you guys to know that I judged this without seeing the music. Completed my judging without seeing the music. I looked at the descriptions that you guys were given, and I used it as a checklist. I wanted to see that there was clear representations of each of the description points that you guys were given. And I used that as a basis. I also then went on and judged it just choreographically on its value, on the clarity of choreography and movement, the composition, the structure, the schematic, how things were laid out to counts, if you knew it was a waltz, if you knew it was a 4/4, that kind of thing. So without further ado, the scores I have are Kate 3.5, Sarah 3.5, Heidi 3.5, Allison 4.0, KT 4.0, Moro 4.0, Brianna 5, and Anna 5. I'm going to give like little highlights, but each and every one of you, I would love to speak to you. Get a hold of me through either Sheila or Audrey, and we can go a little bit more in depth about the notes that I made, about what I saw. I think you guys are all awesome, and so I have mostly positive things to say. Allison, I felt like the only question mark on the check mark that I had was the dance crews doing battle. There was definitely some diva stare-offs, but I don't know that it was like perfectly representative of a dance crew doing battle. But I did like it, so minor if at that. The mambo movement was obvious. There was all kinds of check marks that on your descriptions that were wonderful. The sharp highlights, you made absolute use of them, and look how well it went to the music. Yours was the one that was the #1 on my list of, wow, what she did actually matched the music. Wasn't that amazing? Good use of exchanges between the three people. Katie, it was dreamy and satisfying. I felt the snowfall. I didn't even think you needed to title it at all. It was very obvious what was going on. You did a brilliant job. The clarity was wonderful. I did feel like from an originality standpoint, from an inventiveness standpoint, there may have been some places you could have gone. You certainly are good enough. I expect a lot from all you guys, especially you, especially all of you guys, actually. So I'm asking for a lot. It was an above-the-board, absolute representation. It was really good. The only way I thought I would have given a 5 is if maybe it had been a little bit more inventive. Kate, Santana number. I like the windmill and the spirals, the way that went to the music, that blew my mind. That was fun. But before that, when I looked at the description, I was seeing mosh pit and the building element. I was expecting more writhing, more increasingly out of control movement. So those are the two question marks I had. I'm not sure that there was Latin overtones in the movement. Like the clarity of that maybe could have been a bit clearer. But I did think that, once again, it was an above-the-board representation of the description you got. Anna, such good theatricality. You took risks doing close-ups like that, but I did see that you were willing to take that risk because what was choreographed at that moment was head turns and facial expressions. I'm okay with that. Just, it is a risk when we're talking about viewing skating from afar. But I really felt like it paid off here. I think you guys have invented, and when I saw the description, quirky romance, quirky jazz, I think you guys invented a new dance called the quirk. The staging and the progression and the playfulness, the cling wink, it just laid me out. It was too funny. I really felt like at every moment you were exploring inventive ways to move around each other, with each other, in mirror of each other, and they all had sort of a quirky romance feel to it. So, wonderful job. Moon River was perfect for that. Brianna, ha-cha-cha. Great staging. I love the entrances and exits. I thought that your representation of a cha-cha was cha-cha-ching. So, excellent job. I loved being able to count to it. I took ballroom this past year, so I was in particularly highly entertained by it. Really good job. Moro, out of Africa. The way it went to the music was classic Bernie. I mean, it just good, strong movement, emotional. You are emotionally available as a performer. The fact that yours moved across the ice was cinematic, and I really felt like that was the only thing keeping it back from a 5 to me was the general sense that it was classic as opposed to perhaps a little bit more inventive. You could argue, I think, that sometimes classic is the absolute right way to go, and perhaps it was given the description that you got. I think originality might be the underlying theme of Yaz, but otherwise, I mean that's it. It was a shave off of a wonderfully perfect job. It was so good. You have such drama and good sense of staging and loud and quiet moments. Beautiful job. Heidi, Jazz Party with Garrett. It's this kind of description has Garrett written all over it, and I don't know about anybody else, but I will never tire of watching Garrett be the subject of Yaz choreographers. His ability to be light, airy, fun, upbeat was well used by you, Heidi, and you represented what he does well beautifully. I did feel that the one check mark, the whole Mardi Gras thing, like I don't know, I'm sure that you used it, and I'm not sure that when I heard the music it was represented, so it's really a catch-22 about that. The two long footwork parts. On the first one, I was like, okay, I'm seeing it going as a building element because of the directions you were given, but then when the second one embarked, I was like, all right, are we back to a similar theme as far as tempo and freneticism? Other than that, I got nothing but checks and checks pluses for you. Good job. Sarah, you're on the precipice of so good, so good. You're doing great. I want to applaud you. You're wonderful. When I read your description, I probably crapped my pants the hardest. It seemed nefarious. I told Audrey that after the fact, and said I would have been like, I don't know what to do here. So the only thing that I would have recommended is clarity and inventiveness in your choreography, so that although it was nicely laid out and absolutely above average, I would hire you in a second for lots of levels of skaters. I want tastes of special. I did find that the axle landing with the head movement was right on the music when it was laid on. That was kind of fun. But I think you have such talent, and I feel like you are definitely capable of more. When I say more, I mean more that makes Sarah special, as opposed to you having a good sense about skating in general. All right, guys, get a hold of me if you want some more information. Thank you for listening, and bye.